I regularly teach introductory organic chemistry, and it's essentially 1 year of organic chemistry that's required of a huge number of students. Anyone who is a biology major, chemistry major, environmental majors oftentimes need to take it, and anyone who has plans to go into health-related professions. So I have a huge number of people in the class, typically just under about 400, and that's really challenging. Keep 400 people engaged in a class that they think they don't want to take is really challenging. There's a couple of things that I do. First of all, I love organic chemistry. I think being excited about what I'm teaching helps. And I also try to remind myself what it was like to not understand it and realize that it's like teaching a foreign language to people for the first time, and that people come into the class with a huge amount of fear and anxiety about the class. And so I try to let them know that yes, it's going to be a lot of work, but no, you don't have to memorize everything. And in fact, if you try to memorize your way through the class, you're going to hate the class, and you'll probably not succeed in passing the class. So I try to show them the patterns, and it makes everything kind of a cohesive story, a pattern that they can predict new things from once they understand it. So getting people to that point is a lot of work, but once they get it, then the rest of teaching organic chemistry is pretty easy, actually. So in addition to giving lectures, which I obviously do, I hold pre-exam problem-solving sessions before each exam. And in those sessions, I have people work in groups of 3 or 4 to 9, 10, and I give them problems, but there's no answer key, and they're all supposed to be working on this concurrently at the same time in 1 or 2 rooms, and hopefully on blackboards, and it should be like complete chaos with people talking all over the place, teaching each other, asking questions, and then myself, and if I have teaching assistants that can help, we filter between the groups and give input, but we don't actually usually give the answer. We try to get someone in the group to kind of recognize where it's going and then teach their friends. And that way they learn more, I think, during those sessions than they do the rest of the quarter. So doing that right before each exam really helps, because then their friends are teaching them and they're teaching their friends, and they actually can kind of master the material before the midterm. So what I do is I make these lecture blanks that I prepare as PDF files that include nice pictures, maybe pictures of orbitals, maybe pictures of fruits that contain certain molecules, or anything that can take what we're learning into the real world, and also a lot of just the titles of the chapters and the titles of the subsections and some of the data that would be tedious for them to write, and I put that already on these pages, and they can download these ahead of time and print them and bring them in. And then I've done the same thing. I've downloaded and printed them, and then I put that on the document camera, and I write on the PDF, the paper, what I am hoping they'll write, so they actually have a chance of keeping up with. I work with organic free radicals, and particularly a class of compounds called nitroxides, which are molecules that have an unpaired electron. So one of the interesting things that we do is we've developed a spray that one can use to detect where the oil from poison oak and poison ivy is as contamination on, say, your clothes or your tools. And so you would spray maybe your hiking boots or your firefighting equipment with this, and then hold up a fluorescent lamp, and it would light up where the contamination is. But we're hoping someday that will actually be a product that people will be able to buy and spray on their dogs and their hiking boots and their gardening tools and things to find out where the poison oak is, so that they don't keep being re-exposed to it. Usually the last day of my lecture, I give a half lecture on what I do. Once the students have had a quarter of organic chemistry, then they can understand what I do, and I kind of give them a little introduction to what type of research my group is doing. And then I talk to the students about how they personally can get involved in research at UCSC, because a lot of students actually have no idea how one does that, and it's an opportunity that not all students should do, but the ones who are interested, it's a great way to find out whether they want to go to graduate school rather than going to graduate school and then finding out, hey, this isn't really what I like. What that program is I recruit nationwide for American undergraduates who have some experience in an organic synthesis or organic chemistry lab. And then they go to Bangkok and work in a lab for 10 weeks doing research. They've got a really excellent academic program. They've got good instrumentation. So they can do real science. And so the students are doing real research for 10 weeks and they're getting this incredible cultural experience. I hope we get funded for further years, because I would definitely like to continue that. You know, I've learned where to set boundaries and what expectations. I mean, my first year I was way too naive about things. I didn't assign any homework. I thought, these people are adults, they'll do homework if they need it. And what students told me was, well, I had homework due in math and in biology, and you didn't assign the homework, so I meant to do it, but I just got behind, and so I didn't do it. And now I'm 3 weeks behind and I can't catch up, and I have to drop your class. So I learned to assign homework, even though I kind of wanted them to just be able to do it on their own. When people come up to me and tell me, you know, I came into this class just hating organic chemistry and knowing I was going to hate this class, and it's kind of fun and I'm not going to do it anymore, but you know, this was actually made sense, and I feel like, oh, I did the right thing. You know, the students who become chemists themselves, and I mean, of course that feels great, but that's just a tiny little fraction of the students. So the ones who really didn't want to take the class and were sure they were going to struggle and hate it and fail, and they come and tell me, you know, I actually kind of enjoyed the class, I had to work hard, but it was really fun and it made sense. That makes me feel like I've done the right thing. That feels great.